Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeff Erickson, Principal of Minnetonka High School. It is great to welcome the class of 2028 to our incoming 9th grade meeting. We're going to talk all about the opportunities at Minnetonka High School. But first, before we get started, we're going to give you a brief overview as you find your most comfortable seats to watch this exciting episode about life at Minnetonka High School. And our opening video gives you a great flavor of all the activities, clubs, classes, and all the opportunities that await you in your next 4 years at Minnetonka High School. So with that, I'm going to start the video, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about the program and all the things that await you at MHS.
Welcome to Minnetonka High School.
Welcome to Minnetonka High School.
Welcome to Minnetonka High School.
We're excited you're here.
Staff here believe in us.
They believe in our ideas,
our talents,
and our potential.
Teachers know we are responsible and give us the independence, space, and support we need to do our best.
At the core of Minnetonka culture are the 4 A's: academics, activities, arts, and athletics.
There are classes for everyone and every interest.
You can make your own path here and pursue your passions.
There are many electives to choose from. We also offer the IB Diploma Program and Advanced Placement classes.
Most of us try at least one or more IB or AP class.
We also have Vantage, a real-world learning-based program that pairs you with a professional in a field of your choice.
So far, my favorite class here at MHS has been Vantage Global Business. It's really just given me a perspective into the business world where I find myself to be most passionate.
Project Lead the Way is an opportunity to explore engineering before college.
If science is your passion, you can try Minnetonka Research and choose an area of research to explore for an entire year.
Momentum is a skilled trades program exploring automotive, construction, manufacturing, and transportation, including aviation.
Take some classes through Tonka Online to try something new, add flexibility to your schedule, or get ahead.
Wherever you are academically, you can go further here.
At MHS, we're all a family. We're all skippers and we're all in this together.
Reach out to your classmates, your teachers, and you will not be disappointed.
Every morning before school, you can get help from teachers.
You can visit the Writing Center and meet with a writing coach. Anchor Time is built into the schedule and gives you more time with your teacher.
We're an iPad district. You can use Schoology to connect with your teacher and upload homework. Take notes and Notability. There are dozens of tools at your fingertips.
Get a group together and pick a spot to collaborate.
We have collaborative areas like the Port, the Lock, the South Bay, and more.
Outside of the classroom, join our world-class theater program.
Check out our choir selections, band, jazz band, orchestra, pit orchestra.
We have visual art classes, IB arts, fashion design, and more.
Athletics. We have some of the top athletics teams in the state.
We have a large variety of sports and club sports, and world-class facilities to play in.
Check out Einar Anderson Field, Veterans Field, and Pagel Ice Arena.
And the 4th A, activities.
This is where you'll find your community and friends here at Minnetonka.
As a freshman, I wish I would have known how many opportunities are here at the high school.
There are dozens of clubs to join: fencing, earth club, robotics, way too many to name.
And if you don't find a club for your interest, you can start your own. I like aviation so much, I'm starting an aviation club right here.
Minnetonka is Minnetonka because of the community we have. Every event we have, the school comes together, whether that's homecoming, Heart Week, the cultural fair. There's so many activities at Minnetonka.
To be a skipper is to be a part of our community.
You will forge your own path as a skipper.
Welcome to Minnetonka High School.
Welcome to Minnetonka High School.
Welcome to Minnetonka High School. We're happy to have you here.
So that video gives a great overview of all the things at Minnetonka High School, the 4 A's, the clubs, activities, and classes. So again, my name is Jeff Erickson, Principal of Minnetonka High School. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this evening's informational session. So tonight, we're going to give you the overview of what happens in 9th grade. We'll talk about the classes you'll be thinking about for next year, and then we'll really give you the view of life after 9th grade of all the different opportunities that exist at our high school. It is a comprehensive high school where we hope each student finds their place, their passion, and finds a chance to challenge themselves during their time. We're constantly saying what if in the classes that we have. I could not tell you what classes we're going to offer in 2 years because 2 years ago, aviation wasn't on our radar, and you saw that in the video that is a new course and opportunity that we have at our school. So it's a great place. So tonight we're going to have some information. I'll be presenting as well as our counselor, Dave Buerley. So the student experience, it is really critical in our school that all students have a sense of belonging. So that is our first goal, realizing that respectful, caring relationships, that's key to student learning. Second is really students engaging in a learning environment that promote curiosity, critical thinking, authentic learning skills, and collaboration. A lot of the classes we've built and opportunities are around this particular model, really focusing on high levels of engagement based on the factors you see in that particular sentence. And lastly, if students are inspired and challenged to explore their passions through new learning experiences and making connections beyond the classroom, really applying their learning to real world. So belonging, engagement, finding their passion are the three pieces that drive our work at our school. The graphic you see to your right is all about the student experience at our high school. The 4 A's that you heard in the video. And tonight we're focusing really on the academic part of the program. Just a caution that there can be a lot of information this evening. This is being recorded live, or is right now up in the loft. That's where we're at this point. But the link that you're watching right now, you can watch later many, many times to see all the different opportunities. But there's a lot of information we'll be sharing. And this is not the only time you'll be learning about those opportunities at Minnetonka High School. So tonight I want you to sit back, learn about the opportunities that await you, and think about your years at Minnetonka High School. Our formula of success at our school, as I mentioned, is around relationships, plus really exceptional instruction. We have amazing teachers that work to provide meaningful, deep, authentic, challenging information with high expectations, also with a lot of support. Exceptional instruction. So we take that strong relationship plus the exceptional instruction that really helps create successful, respectful, curious, happy, and engaged students. You can't have one without the other. Those two factors are really critical, and we work every day to make sure the students feel that strong sense of connection and engagement. That culture piece, you saw that in the video through the different activities. If I were to explain our core values as a school, that takes us 100 pages in the handbook to explain our two things. One is to do the right thing, and the second is to represent us well. And as you onboard yourself at Minnetonka High School, throughout the spring and in the fall, we come back to those core values in all that we do, really built on a foundation of respect. Culture is really important. We take intentional steps to make sure you're ready to be at Minnetonka High School, that you feel supported, you understand how we work as a school, making sure each student finds their success at our school. I would just put this little caveat as before we get into the academic program. This is just a bird's eye view of homecoming at Minnetonka High School. So if you're in middle school, obviously you've probably been at the parade or have seen photos of the parade. Every year we have a record number of floats that represent all the different clubs and activities at the school. So you can see at the bottom of the photo the mountain biking club, you have the hockey team, you have dance, cheer, all the different clubs that are represented in this particular parade. And I point this out is that the one key piece of advice that all students give, incoming 9th grade students, it's on the screen, is simply get involved. There is a club for about everything. There are 80 clubs at our school. And the good news is if you don't have a club there is not a club that exists that you want, students can create it. So I would just say one takeaway from this evening before we get into the academic side around culture is just getting involved. That helps students find a sense of connection, sense of belonging, and there are tons of ways to get involved in the school. So tonight, as we welcome the class of 2028, we're talking about setting your course at this school and all the opportunities. It is a school of opportunities, and you will see that in all of our information. There's so many different ways for students to expand their opportunities and find their passion, whether it be AP, Project Lead the Way, Vantage, Momentum, Research, all of the different logos on the screen. We'll be talking about some of those this evening. And we're constantly saying what's next and what are those opportunities that allow students to really find their passion. And we're going to share some pretty exciting ones this evening that we have for students. So as you think about this slide, and one of the hopes I have with this presentation is, students, if you're watching this alone, hopefully you'll watch it with your parents. Parents, if you're watching this video, one of the really positive parts of having this on YouTube is that you can watch this with your student. And we found that over the years is a great way to connect, to pause, and to think about the options. The good news is, 9th grade, there's not as many options as 10th grade, and every year there are more options. So we'll focus in on what are the key requirements for the 9th grade year. So, what are the goals? A critical part of that is looking at all the different opportunities. And we're going to talk about this evening the required coursework and electives for the 9th grade year. You can see some photos on the screen of our staff and things that the students have opportunities. So we're going to focus right now on what do you need to think about for your 9th grade year, what are those required courses? And to help you with that process, I'm going to bring up one of our lead counselor, Dave Beerley, who's going to walk you through those options as you think about what courses you need. All of this information is on the website in the Skipper log, which we'll talk about, and will be presented during upcoming meetings. So tonight is just an overview of what classes you need to think about as you look at the coursework for the 9th grade year. So welcome, Mr. Beerley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And hi, I'm Mr. Beerley. I am one of the counselors at Minnetonka High School, and I'm going to talk through your 9th grade year, and we're going to get into specifics about each individual course that you'll be making decisions on. One thing I want to do that I think is helpful before we even go any further is to also let you know that right now we're going to talk about 9th grade because you're rising 9th graders. Next year, when you're current 9th graders, we will have similar small group meetings at the high school and talk about 10th grade. We'll do the same thing again when you're 10th graders, and we'll do the same thing again when you're 11th graders. So the point is, you're not having to decide the next 4 years of your life in the next couple of weeks. You're deciding 9th grade. So I want you to really focus in on that and make sure that you're making the decisions that make sense for you in 9th grade, not that make sense for friends or your brother or sister, whoever it is. It has to be the right decision for you. So we're going to start going through those options course by course. So if we can, there we go. All right, so 9th grade coursework. So you'll see up here on the screen, this is just kind of a sampling of all the different things we're going to talk through. We're going to talk through the 4 core subjects, English, math, science, and social studies. We're going to talk about world language, and then we're going to talk about some additional requirements for graduation, art, PE, health, things of that nature. So first thing, and I think this is probably, this would be a slide that maybe would be good to pause on and really take a look at. All rising 9th graders are going to select an English class. You're all going to select a math class. You're all going to select a social studies class. You're all going to select a science class. So all the courses up there, pretty much no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You're going to pick one course in each one of these options for the full year. And you see on the screen the amount of credits you will need to graduate in these different courses. But again, like I said, we will come back to these each year to remind you in 10th grade that you have to select an English class again in 11th grade, and so on and so forth. So as we move forward and we talk about required courses, I'm going to start with English, and we're going to kind of work our way down on this screen. And you will notice a general theme that with each course, there is a kind of a standard option, and then there's an honors or sometimes an AP option to do. So first course we're going to look at English 9, and your options are English 9 or English 9 honors. You'll also see English 9 honors communication listed on the screen. That course is specifically paired with AP physics. So if you're in the accelerated math track and you're right now doing your doing accelerated science in 8th grade, and you know you're going to be taking AP Physics next year, your English course is kind of predetermined within that program. So for all the other students, basically your choice is English 9 or English 9 honors. One thing that's very important to know when you're making these decisions, high school is very different than middle school in the sense that this choice is completely up to you. This is not dependent on a test score. It's not dependent on a teacher recommendation. It is completely your choice. I do think that teacher recommendations are something that you should really think through. Your teachers will have a very good sense of which class would be a good fit. But if you haven't been in honors English throughout middle school and you've wanted to be in honors English and you think you deserve to be in honors English, now is your chance. You can absolutely do that. Likewise, if you've been in honors English and you're not interested in staying that, you do not have to do that. So it is the choice for you. I'd say a pretty simple way to think through which one would be the best choice. English 9 honors is going to be a little bit more fast-paced, probably going to delve a little bit deeper when you're reading literature and you're talking about things. You're going to kind of delve deeper into assignments, and it'll just be a slightly more rigorous course. Both of them are great courses, but English 9 honors is definitely the more challenging course. So if you're passionate about English and you really want to challenge yourself in English, English 9 honors could be a great option for you. Math is probably too many options for us to possibly list them all on the screen. So generally speaking, math, you're going to follow your course sequence. If you're in pre-algebra right now, you'd be in quadratic algebra next year. If you're in quadratic algebra, you would go to geometry. If you're in geometry, you would go to higher algebra. If you're in higher algebra, you go to pre-calc, and so on and so forth. That's a really important conversation to have with your math teacher. Most of our math classes will leave you the option of being in regular or honors, similar to the conversation with English. If you're passionate about math, you appreciate a class that's maybe a little bit more fast-paced, delving a little bit deeper into the coursework, then honors math could be a good option for you. But again, it's your choice to decide which one of those courses makes the most sense for you. There are times where, depending on how 8th grade goes, your teacher could recommend that you take the same math course again in 9th grade. If you're not having a successful year, say in quadratic algebra, you want to make sure that foundation is strong as you move forward through high school. But most of the time you're following through that sequence, so that's a great conversation to have with your math teacher. Next up, earth science. Like I mentioned, there's the AP Physics option, and you would know if you're already in that track. But for other students, the choice is between earth science and earth science honors. I do realize that this is similar to the course you're taking in 8th grade, but I assure you that the learning targets that we're looking at will be different in 9th grade than 8th grade. You will not be repeating the same course over again. This will be a different course in high school. And I would say that the same kind of criteria arises if science is something you're passionate about, you really enjoy science, and you want to delve a little bit deeper, move a little bit faster. Earth science honors could be a great fit. And if that doesn't really describe you and you think standard earth science would work better, then you can take that option also. Lastly, we have up here social studies. There's kind of one extra option within social studies. So the standard course is human geography and civics. If you are in the immersion program in either Chinese or Spanish, we do give you the option to take human geography and civics in Chinese or in Spanish. You have either option, and so it's the same exact course, it's just taught in your target language. So that would give you an opportunity to have a second period of the day in your target language. The other kind of accelerated option is AP Human Geography. That stands for Advanced Placement in Human Geography. And that is a fast-paced, challenging social studies course, but one that is pretty specifically designed for 9th graders. And what I mean by that is AP Human Geography is a one-semester course at most other schools for 11th and 12th graders. But because we are offering it to 9th graders, we have spread it over 2 semesters. So it's a pretty reasonable pace for our 9th graders. So we have a lot of students choose to take that and have a lot of success in that course. And we'll talk more specifically about AP and what advanced placement means as we move through the slide deck. So as we move forward, this is just kind of an example page to show you. I had mentioned before that what you're taking in 8th grade does not determine what you take in 9th grade. That just the way we allow you to select courses, it's completely up to you at the high school level, and this kind of reiterates that. If you take English 9 or English 9 honors, or if you do English 9 honors communication, any of the options are available to you in 10th grade down the road. So we're not going to say to you in 10th grade, well, you can't do AP Lang and Comp because you didn't do the honors option in 9th grade. That option's completely open to you regardless of which English course you choose to take in 9th grade. So we're not kind of tracking you down a certain path. It's your choice to make each year. And like I said, we will revisit that option come 10th grade and talk through, or come 9th grade when you're planning for 10th grade. Some additional requirements to talk through. So we talked about kind of the obvious ones: English, math, science, social studies. An additional requirement is you need 1 credit in the arts. And so 1 credit, as you look at course, at like how many credits you earn in a given course, earning 1 credit means doing a course for 2 semesters. So if you do English 9, both semesters you've earned 1 credit. So in art, if you need 1 credit, that means you need 2 semesters. So you could do 1 semester in 9th grade and 1 in 10th grade. You could do both in 9th grade, whatever it might be. But the key is taking 2 full semesters in the arts, and this area, or this screen, I should say, shows you all the different departments where you could potentially earn credit in the arts, in this arts requirement. So make sure when you're looking at the skipper log, and I'll show you some specifics on that later, that if you sign up for a course and you're hoping to meet the arts requirement, that it does say that it meets that requirement in the skipper log. Next requirement would be physical education. Pretty straightforward. When you look in the skipper log, it shows you the courses are listed as either a fitness A or a wellness B. You would need to take 1 semester in each one of those areas. So it would be wise to avoid taking 2 courses that end in an A or 2 courses that end in a B. You'd want to do 1 of each. It is pretty popular. Students will sometimes choose to do their Tonka Online Fitness A summer going into 9th grade. We usually have a couple hundred students do that every year. So certainly not something you have to do, but something you could do if you wanted to try to take care of that PE class over the summer. So again, when you look in the skipper log, you'll see this will be pretty straightforward. Certain courses are listed with an A, certain are listed with a B. You need one of each. And 0.5 plus 0.5 equals 1 credit. Health is something that really, for registration purposes, we don't have to worry about in terms of your health course. It is something that we embed into your schedule during your core academic classes every few weeks throughout high school. So you don't have to find a spot for health. We kind of find a spot and sneak it in there for you so that you get a semester credit over 4 years. And lastly, there's a personal finance requirement, which is just a 1 semester course in personal finance, but it's something you need to do in grades 10, 11, or 12. So not something you need to worry about right now. We will touch on that next year around this time of year when we're talking through 10th grade courses with you and remind you of that requirement. So just a good thing to keep in mind that that will be coming down the road for you in 10th grade. So if you're able to get those art and PE, some of those art and PE requirements taken care of in 9th grade, I think that will be helpful for you down the road. And as we look at different elective options, you're going to see in the next slide here that electives happen in all different departments. So what I mean by that is English, math, science, and social studies were also listed on the slide that said that were required core classes, but there are also electives within English, math, science, social studies. Yearbook would be an example of a class that's housed in the English department, but is definitely an elective course. You remember that math and science were only required 3 years, so when a student takes those as a senior, those technically count as electives. And then all the other departments listed up here, pretty obvious places where you'd be finding electives: physical education, computer science, tech ed, all sorts of different options that you'll see throughout the skipper log. One of the things that you will be doing if you continue with language immersion, which we hope you do, will be earning elective credit in a world language. And it's worth noting, as we've gone through the requirements, you'll notice we didn't say anything about world language. World language is not a high school graduation requirement, but it is a requirement for most four-year colleges. So we do have a pretty vast majority of our 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders will be taking a world language. And so if you've been in immersion, you have some great options as you move into high school. We mentioned the one option within social studies, but I'm going to talk specifically within each target language. So if you are in Spanish immersion, the two choices are really between AP Spanish Language and Culture or Spanish Immersion Language Arts 9. So if your current Spanish teacher feels like you could use another year of preparation before you take on that AP class, they might recommend Spanish Immersion Language Arts. Otherwise, they might encourage you to jump right into AP Spanish Language and Culture. So either ones are great options. I would definitely work closely with your current teachers on their recommendations for next steps there. And Chinese immersion, same options, only different language. So AP Chinese Language and Culture or Chinese Immersion Language Arts. So, and so this would fit when you think about, we have a 6-period day, there's 4 required courses. Your 5th class, so to speak, could be your language immersion class, and then you have that final spot, the 6th spot, that could be an art, a PE, whatever other course that you might choose as that elective. And I mentioned earlier that you have an option. You've seen a couple of times where the course popped up: AP Physics, AP Human Geography, AP Spanish, or AP Chinese. And so AP stands for Advanced Placement, and these are college level courses in high school, and you could potentially earn college credit depending on how you do on the AP exam at the end of the year. Our students generally do very well on our AP exams, and we'll share some of those statistics with you as we move forward. So these classes are known throughout, I was going to say throughout the country, they're actually known internationally. If you went to schools overseas, they're all familiar with Advanced Placement. It's done through the College Board. And there's quite a few different opportunities to experience an advanced placement class in 9th grade. And like I said, our students have a pretty strong reputation for doing really well on those advanced placement exams. International baccalaureate classes are also an option that are very comparable to AP classes. One thing that's a little different is most IB classes are not typically available until you're a junior or senior, so they're definitely not as widely available to 9th graders. There are a couple of exceptions to that, but for the most part, these more so come up in 11th grade. These go a little bit more in depth, maybe don't cover quite as much ground as an AP course, but provide a great in-depth look at a variety of subjects. And again, when we talk to you in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, we will revisit this. So don't feel like you need to remember a lot about IB options. Just know that those are out there, and we will continue to remind you of those options each year when we check in. Like I said, we have a strong track record of success with our students challenging themselves to take an AP or an IB course to prepare for college, and then also really strong passing rates when they take those AP exams at the end of the year. And so those passing rates, just to clarify, means the AP exam at the end of the year. That doesn't mean passing the course during the year. Almost all of our students are passing the course during the year, but the 88 and the 85% refers to that kind of that exam that happens at the end that can determine college credit. So lots of our students taking this opportunity, lots of students doing really well. I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Erickson now to talk through which modalities in which we learn. So that's way too big of a word for me to cover.
All right. So a lot of information. I think just one key point that Mr. really mentioned is that we have a 6-period day. So as you think about your classes, you have 6 periods. We've walked through the requirements. A really important message that he indicated was there are lots of choice. And so they're not requirements saying you have to have a certain grade to get into a certain course. It's where do you want to find your passion? Where do you want to challenge yourself in all the different classes that we have? So the slide around modalities, I just want to point out that students in 9th grade will take 6 classes in person every day. And so that's what we have, our first in-person approach to learning. That's all day. Some students, however, want to, outside of the day or in the summer, take an online course. And then as they go throughout their 4 years, there are more opportunities to maybe take a class online versus being in person. So just be clear, 9th graders take 6 classes in person all day. But we do have a remarkable online program. So it's not uncommon that a 9th grader might say, I'm going to take a particular class before my 9th grade year online to open up something else during the day. So we have a Tonka Online program. Your schedule, your space. And just to note that this is Minnetonka curriculum taught by Minnetonka teachers through Schoology. So students are familiar with the platform, taught by our teachers. You can see on the screen over 50 courses taught by Minnetonka teachers. And we've had an online program for over 10 years. And so it's really been a very robust program for students finding different ways to make their schedule flexible. So Tonka Online. So you can see just on the screen here, taught by our teachers, fully accredited by Minnesota Department of Education, flexibility and challenge. So students think about that over their 4 years of different points they want to take it online. But for 9th grade, you could do something over the summer if you wanted through Tonka Online. So the next part of the presentation is talking about some of the opportunities at our high school. And as we look at the class of 2028, our hope for every student is to have some type of experiential learning before they graduate. So there's a lot of information on this slide. And you look at some of the words engage, encourage, help, develop, empower, create, connect. So what does experiential learning mean? Well, it allows students to engage and apply their learning to real life situations. Encourage next generation leaders to use their knowledge, curiosity, and creativity for career opportunities. Help. Students develop power skills, sometimes called soft skills, in their field of study. It could be communication, collaboration, problem solving. Develop. Expand options beyond high school, so different certifications. You'll learn that during one particular strand, a 2-hour course, students can earn the certified nursing assistant. Empower. Teachers really make connections with outside people outside of education. Create real-world setting where students have ample space, support, and tools for learning. Where I'm at right now, the loft behind me, you can see those are simulators for our aviation program. If you're driving down 101 right next to Clear Springs and the District Service Center, you see the brand new Vantage Momentum building that will be opening up this March for our Vantage program and our Momentum. And that space is specifically designed for our experiential learning courses. So that is part of our program. And so I'll continue on with the other parts of experiential learning. Again, the real world setting lastly is connect. Students with a broader community for learning and networking. For example, every student in our Vantage program that you'll learn about in a few moments have an outside mentor. So all of the words on the screen you see, engage, to connect, is helping students apply their learning in a real world situation, collaborating with others for an outside audience. And so we hope for every incoming student, experiential learning is part of their experience. So you saw the slide, School of Opportunities. You will see that many times over the 4 years. We continue to add programs. Tonight I'm going to focus on 4 that are part of our experiential learning opportunity. Momentum, Vantage, Project Lead the Way, and Minnetonka Research. Momentum is a new facility as a program, which is the Minnetonka Design and Skilled Trades. And with Momentum, it really meets all the requirements that you saw on the screen to be experiential learning. It is the area of trades with hands-on approach, apply learning, labs, not lecture, career-oriented, and really allowing for creativity. And you can see on the slide here, there are lots of pathways in the trades: construction systems, transportation, engineering, manufacturing, aviation, and design. And many of these things we call strands, which are 2-hour courses in which 2 different content areas are taught in an interdisciplinary way for students to learn those pieces together. The best way is simply to explain through some of the examples. So Momentum is the applied trades. So I'm going to start with a brief overview of just one of the new strands and part of the Momentum program, which is aviation. And we are launching for next year's students. This would be incoming 11th and 12th graders. Just to give you an example, you can take Aviation 1 or 2 in 9th grade. Then beyond that, we're launching Flight School 1 in World History. It takes those 2 courses in a 2-hour class taught at our new facility where students will apply what they're learning through history and flight all together. But better is this video showing what students are getting out of the current experience in Aviation 1.
When I went on the first field trip and we got to fly a legitimate plane, made that kind of just sound like something that I would possibly want to do.
When you start aviation here at Minnetonka High School, we're gonna get you in a flight simulator, teach you how to fly in flight simulators, which will eventually take you into an actual airplane at the airport. You're flying.
I got to take off, and then I got to fly in the air. I learned how to stay at altitude. I feel like every night I go home to my parents and I get to talk to them about my aviation class. It's so much fun. I hope to be an airline pilot for one of the major airlines like Delta or Sun Country, something like that.
We've flown real planes, we've made hot air balloons, we've made paper planes, we've done a bunch of simulator work, simulating what it's like to be in a plane. It's really fun. I expected it to be more superficial, but we really get into the nitty-gritty of what it's like to be a pilot and what it's like to be a worker in the field of aviation. It worked out really well. I mean, the teacher's awesome.
I definitely want to get more into aviation. I did before, but now even more so.
We go through a lot of stuff that you would learn to get your private pilot's license. We spend a lot of time doing drones.
Kind of learned a little bit about aerodynamics, like the insides of the airport and like how it all works. It's actually kind of cool.
If you want to become a pilot or get into the aviation industry, this is a class that you absolutely should take. If you just have an interest in airplanes, I really think you should take this class because it might just change your mind. This truly is a one-of-a-kind class.
It's truly something amazing.
So that is just one of our strands in the Momentum program, Aviation 1 and 2. And then next year, obviously not for 9th graders, is Flight School 1 and World History. And with our hope that students in that particular pathway can be earning their private pilot's license. And that's just a brand new course opportunity. So as I mentioned, we're constantly saying what's next for our students. And we're going to continue with one more example in the Momentum program. There are many foundational courses within our tech ed, such as Woodworking 1, Metals 2. All these allow for opportunities. So in the construction area, we have a couple different courses, again, strands. We have one which is home renovation and math. So the 2 classes are combined in a 2-hour course where students take their math skills, apply in the real world. And one of the most incredible projects they created last year was building one of these huge ice castles as part of their course. So they take their knowledge from the home renovation side, the math side, and build this. And I'm gonna have a student walk you through this facility, this almost a house that will be for sale later this winter.
Hello, my name is Aiden. Last year I was in mathematics of home reno. We built this ice house here. Let's go take a tour. So this is the place that we're in. Everything from full kitchen to seating, full table there, everything from a refrigerator here. Heck, we even got a bathroom over there. A lot of the general construction everybody contributed on, but the ceiling specifically, I did those. Those were a pain, but now that they're finished up, they look amazing. This one's really nice. If you pull up these cushions here, they actually slides out. For me specifically, it's really rewarding because I like to work with my hands a lot. I'm really good at it. It's just something that I enjoy. The course is amazing. some of the best people that I've met at this school I met last year in this class. For a couple hours a day, you get to come over here and build really cool stuff, and I loved it.
So that is all part of the Momentum program. We also have a home renovation physics class. They built some amazing sheds. And also in the video, we have an incredible automotive program. We have 4 stalls on campus, part of the automotive classes. There are a variety of courses. And one of the really cool things is just simply all of these things happen under one roof. Well, obviously a little bit extended as we go to the building next to the District Service Center, but all within the student's day. They can fit all these classes within the 6-period day right on our campus. And so lots of opportunities. We could go on for a long time. There are many more videos online. I'll be sharing those opportunities, but that gives you a sense of the Momentum program, all part of our goal of experiential learning. The other program we have is Project Lead the Way. As you can see on the screen, it really allows students to empower students with hands-on experiences, design process, advanced software, real-world projects, collaborative learning, and again, both theoretical and real-life models. They're doing all kinds of things within this particular program. There's a chance for college credit as well. Minnetonka Research. This is again through 10th through 12th grade. And so this allows students to do their own research for their own areas of interest for students that have completed AP and IB coursework. So they literally, if you walk into this lab, there are so many things going on because every student has their own research project that they're doing. They have their own workspace because it's not something they simply have during one period of the day, and it's ongoing. So Minnetonka Research, all the different areas, again, they design their own projects and work within a diverse set of fields. And again, best yet to hear from students about what is Minnetonka Research, part of experiential learning.
Minnetonka Research is a program where students are able to pursue areas of interest that they have.
All you need to do well and enjoy research is just to be really interested in something. We develop our own kind of project and then work on this throughout the entire year.
The relationship between the hormone relaxin and female injuries in female athletes.
Food allergies, more specifically how to diminish the allergic response.
The continuation of my project from last year, developing autonomous drones to fly into buildings and generate 3-dimensional maps of them for search and rescue and other purposes.
They'll design an experiment that'll go through the proposal phase. They have professional mentors to be able to help them with some of the technical aspects as well as the communication pieces along the way. And then they get to perform that experiment, look to see what they expect is going to happen, but then see what really does happen and do the analysis of that and draw some conclusions.
I think it's really exciting to be able to pursue something that I'm passionate about, learn about the things that I want to learn about.
Again, that's the Minnetonka Research Program through 10th through 12th grade. And I'm going to continue as we talk a little bit about experiential learning around our Vantage program. So again, as you drive down 101, you see this huge building. That's part of our Vantage program. This is in its 11th year. Just an incredible program. All the elements of experiential learning happen within this. Real-world projects, one-to-one mentor, guest instructors. When you're talking about a specific area, for example, in health sciences, you could have a doctor coming in from Fairview to talk about this. There are all different strands that make up the Vantage experience. These experiences are layered into daily curriculum to really create a just amazing, engaging experience. So better yet, again, to hear from students about what is Vantage, and this starts as soon as 10th grade.
Hey Tonka, we're here to talk about Vantage, Minnetonka's experiential learning program. There are 10 different ways you can do Vantage. We call them strands. There really is something for everyone. Business analytics, design and marketing, global business, global sustainability, health sciences, international relations, multimedia communications, public policy, user design, and education. Each Vantage strand provides a fantastic way to explore what it's like to study and work in these areas.
At Vantage, you work on projects with outside organizations to solve real-world problems. It's inspiring to work on something real. For my fall project, I worked with a wholesale food distributor researching different ways they can approach online product sales and new market segments.
You attend site visits and hear from guest instructors that align with your class curriculum. There's no better way to learn than from an industry expert.
Each Vantage student is paired with a mentor for the year. My mentor is the president of a dairy manufacturing consulting company. We meet once a month to talk about my company project and global sustainability, team collaboration, and many other helpful topics.
Vantage's impact on me is something I never considered before enrolling. I've learned a lot about professionalism and teamwork, how to be an effective communicator, a problem solver, and a leader. I am more confident about the future now than when I started in Vantage. I even enjoy presenting in front of a group, something I never thought I'd be able to say.
The best part about Vantage is the community. Depending on your strand, you are at Vantage 2 to 3 hours of your school day. You get to know your classmates and your teachers really well.
To learn more, attend an information session, visit tonkavantage.com, or talk to your counselor.
We hope to see you next year.
So that is a Vantage program from our students sharing all the different opportunities. And just if you look on the screen, those are all the different strands that we have. Again, a strand is, they're all at least 2-hour courses taught in an interdisciplinary way. And it allows students to really take their knowledge and apply it in a real world setting. When you come to the mentor kickoff event, again, every student has their own mentor. It fills the West Gym. And right now we have over 500 students in the Vantage program, all the different strands. And if you go to the website, you can see videos. So while 9th grade, you don't need to worry about signing up for a particular strand or anything like that of all the options I've mentioned tonight, but it's just something to think about. The courses in 9th grade really get you prepared for whatever pathway you choose. I think it's something important Mr. Brearley mentioned. As I've said several times, we are a school of opportunities. And sometimes you might choose, like, what do I choose? What should I decide in terms of my courses? And I always say the only wrong option is an option that you don't want. You need to figure out what do you want to take for your classes and all the different opportunities. So a few more points. Again, our goal for every student is that idea of experiential learning through all the different programs that we have at Minnetonka High School. And this really doesn't even touch the surface of all of the different opportunities. We have so many amazing programs in our art department, FACS department. We have a disability studies course. So there's so many different courses, and this year there are at least 10 new courses as part of our high school. So while they're different programs, there are lots of opportunities in all different courses for students to find their passion and sometimes decide, I don't like something, which is a lot better to do it now versus when you're paying tuition down the road. So the whole student, we focus on supporting the whole student. Right now, a lot of our support for the whole student is through the registration process in working with our student support team, our counselors. And they're an amazing team, and you've met Mr. Brearley, who's going to come back on to share a little bit about the role of a counselor. Then I'm going to conclude with a few more comments, our annual trivia contest. Of course, this is live, so if you want to find the latest email that I've sent out, so you have my email address to answer some of the trivia questions. But we have an amazing counseling team that works to support the whole student, and they're going to start working with you very soon as you think about all the different opportunities for next year. So welcome back, Mr. Brearley.
Thank you. So yeah, the next, we're going to talk a little about the counseling team. The next time we will see you all, not all of you, but the 8th graders in person, we'll be coming to MME and MMW in the next couple of weeks. And we will go over a lot of the kind of similar discussions we had today. Up here is a poster that you'll see a lot of different places throughout the high school. First 10 people listed are the counselors, and it just shows you the way we're divided up by alphabet. And then lots of other support people, our college counselor, our advanced learning coordinator, some of our academic coaches, school psychologists, and the like. This slide just gives you kind of a sense of all the different things that a counselor is doing in terms of working with a student. A couple years ago, the communications department created this slide just to kind of answer the question, what is something I would reach out to a counselor for? So this lists a lot of the different ways that students and counselors work together. The bottom part that says academic planning is really what we're focused on today. And a lot of what we've talked about and honestly a lot of what we end up doing in this time of each year. When it's January, February, it's kind of registration season at Minnetonka, and that's the big part of what we're doing with students as counselors. This is the mailer that will have been sent home, I believe. Or I think you'll receive them. Actually, we don't mail these home. We give them to you in person. It's very exciting when we come to MME and come to MMW. So those are real live Minnetonka students. They're at Minnetonka right now. And so we will talk through that whole process with you when we come in about 2 weeks. Last thing I want to talk about, we've mentioned many times the skipper log. So the skipper log is all digital, and this kind of shows you how to get to it under Minnetonka Schools, or when you're on the Minnetonka Schools website, you go to the Minnetonka High School homepage, and under Student Life, you can go directly to the skipper log. And the way the skipper log is divided up is by department. So sometimes kids will say, well, let me just look at all the electives. Well, you can't really look at all the electives at once. You would start alphabetically and in, say, the art department. So it shows on the right-hand side over there the course list. And so you can look at all the advanced placement courses. You could look at art, business, computer science, and so on and so forth. And when you do that, you are able to sort within each department to say, what are the classes that are open to 9th graders? I don't want to waste my time looking at the classes for 10th through 12th graders. I'm a 9th grader, so show me all the ones that are available to 9th graders. Show me the ones that meet the arts requirements, different things like that. So it's a great tool. Definitely want you to spend enough time on it that you feel like you really understand the courses you're signing up for. And hopefully by doing that, you're going to be really excited about the courses that you're signing up for. So there's so many options that if you can't get excited about something that you find, there might be something wrong. So hopefully you're able to do that. And I am going to toss it over to Mr. Erickson to talk about another exciting event coming up in a couple of weeks here.
All right, thank you, Mr. Reed. Superb work. So a couple of things as we talk about looking ahead. So tonight's presentation obviously is live, YouTube live, and we do that again intentionally so that with all the information that we share, you can pause. If you're not able to watch it during this period of time, you can do it later. We really encourage you to sit down and watch it as a family with your student to make sure you talk about some of the options. Again, so there's a lot of information. We try to give you the overview of what's there for 9th grade and then really big picture what we're about as a school. So how to learn about that? Now we want you in person. And again, the counselors will be to the middle schools, but on February 8th, mark your calendar from 5:30 to 8 p.m. The entire school will be open, and you'll be able to walk around and connect with staff about all of the academic opportunities at Minnetonka High School. So you can arrive at 5:30 and stay till 8 o'clock. You can arrive at 7:30 and stay till 8, whatever works for you. There'll be presentations in different departments, Q&A session. It is your chance to walk around the school and see what awaits you in just a few short months after that time. So again, Experience Minnetonka. If you have older students, if it's not just an incoming 9th grade you have, this event is open for all students. You just don't want to miss it because it's the one chance during the year where everything is here open for you to learn about the opportunities and really see firsthand what makes this school so special. So February 8th, make sure that you're here. You'll be getting this information. Mr. Brearley mentioned that newspaper. You'll be getting that during your classes. You also should have received an exciting mailer with all of the scheduled events, and so make sure that you look for that. A few other topics. We register through Skyward, and so on February 21st through February 28th is your chance to go into Skyward and choose your classes for next year. Some people say, this is a long time from this evening until the end of February. Well, it is, and that's intentional so that when you make those decisions about your classes for next year, you really have committed to those classes. When we take that information from February 28th, we build a lot of things based on what you choose. We build our staffing, our registration for classes, how many sections we run. So the good news is we take all that information and build the schedule from ground zero every single year. So you don't say, well, are there only, for example, 30 spots for civics, geography, and Spanish? No, how many students want the class is how we build that. Also keep in mind that if you wait until February 28th, at 11:55 p.m. to register is any different than if you're up at 12:01 a.m. on February 21st. No, it really is the same. It just gives you a long window to go into Skyward and choose your classes. But once you choose those classes, we really do want you to take those classes and ask you to take those classes and not change your mind in the fall. So it is a really intentional part of time to make sure you talk to your students, you talk to your teachers, you really make informed decisions so that we get the right set of classes for you as you start in the fall. So some of you cannot wait till you get to the high school, so you might be thinking about what are some of the things that are coming up. These students are part of our retreat day that happens Wednesday, August 30th. So people sometimes like to know their summer calendar, even though summer is a little ways away. There's only one day that we ask you to be on campus during the summer, and that is August 30th. All the incoming 9th graders do come on campus in late May. It's a really cool day where we actually have 5 different grade levels in the building, and we welcome the 9th graders on campus. We really want you, before you go into the summer, to know the school a little bit. I get a chance to connect with you, and every 9th grader has a first mate, a senior leader, that will work with you throughout the summer if you have questions, or as more intentionally when we get back on the fall through all of the different events. So every student has a first mate that really is meant to help them. So if all of a sudden you wake up July 10th and say, how many minutes is their passing time? You could send a text to that person, how many minutes? And so you feel like you have that connection. So we want the summer to be just tranquil, and so you know what's happening as you get ready for the fall. And again, that big day on August 30th, that is the retreat day. So we want all ninth graders here that day. So tonight, a lot of information in the past 45 minutes or so about our school. We are a school of opportunities. We're a very comprehensive high school where we look for opportunities for all students. We meet all students where they're at. We work to help challenge them, support them, and make sure they have an amazing high school experience and really work collaboratively with students and family. I hope you notice in all the videos, we really focus on student voice. Students sharing their experiences, and that's not only in our videos, but how we operate as a school. And hopefully you also heard the advice of getting involved. That's the key to building that, to making a large school small, is through those connections. So I mentioned before, we have trivia questions, and we've done this each year during this live broadcast. One of the main products that students love at the food department of the high school is banana bread. And so the trivia questions tonight have 3. You email me your answers. You probably can find one of the emails you received from me, or jeffrey.erickson@minnetonkaschools.org. You answer the trivia questions, you could be in line for a free loaf of exciting banana bread that's delivered to you when you're here in May during that day. So the 3 trivia questions tonight. First question is, where am I located right now? Of course, that's not, Minnetonka High School is not an acceptable answer. What part of the building am I located right now? What is the name of the virtual book that has a list of all of the classes? And one of the things I'm just interested in, what are you excited about the high school? When you think about coming to the high school next year, what are you excited about? Maybe something you learned this evening. So where am I at right now? Again, Minnetonka High School, not acceptable. What is the name of the book, virtual book, with all the information about the courses? And then lastly, what are you excited about? We'll take all the entries, and several will win an exciting loaf of fresh banana bread. I'll buy it the day before, not now, when you get here in late May for that event. So some of you still can't wait to learn more about the high school and all the different things that are happening. We're very active on social media, on Instagram. So you could go right now to Tonka HS Principal, and on Instagram I use that a lot with students and families to acknowledge, honor, and celebrate our students, and talks about different videos that we have. We have a lot of videos on YouTube through our registration, just about our school in general. So it's a great opportunity to learn more about the high school. Tonka HS Principal. I always end the presentation with this photo. This is my 11th year as principal at Minnetonka High School. This is actually my 30th year in the building. I started as a Spanish teacher in 1993. And I am so proud every year of our graduates and all of our students, how they make our school better, make our community better. And all of this comes together very quickly, even though it seems like a long ways away. I often say long days, short years, to 2028 at US Bank. And this moment where we come together to celebrate your accomplishments. Your journey starts tonight. You think about the options you want as our school, the classes you want to take, how you want to really start your high school career. So it starts tonight. I can't wait to meet you, the families. We'll see you on February 8th. So again, welcome to Minnetonka High School. This information will keep on the YouTube link. Hope it's been a great evening for you. Whenever you're watching this, welcome to Minnetonka High School. We'll see you soon.